I just never realized that science involved so much poop. That was the rather shell-shocked confession I got from an interpretive ranger at Crater Lake National Park. Interpretive rangers are the ones who put on the nicest uniforms and go up in front of the tourists every day and give those presentations and stuff. What happened was this. The previous season, we had both had a chance to go out on a cross-training day with the wildlife, where we were going out and surveying the pika population. Pikas are the cutest little animals, sort of like rodents. Pikachu is based off of them. They live up in the rocky crags, and the best way to tell if there's a pika there or not is to look for these cool little pyramid-shaped piles of pika poop. Now, to me, as a wildlife biologist, this was a really great day because pika poop is fairly clean, there's no smell, it's basically the same as rabbit pellets. So I had a grand old time. And the interpretive ranger kept her mouth shut during the day, but the next year she confessed this to me. And so I kind of had a chuckle over that, but it kind of drove home to me how your profession can give you a different tolerance for things that normal people wouldn't have. For instance, I work with poop on a daily basis. In my winter job on the farm, in my summer jobs for the national parks, I handle a lot of poop from a lot of different animals, so I'm fairly desensitized. What does any of this have to do with Kaiju number 8? Well, hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today I am going to be reviewing Kaiju number 8, anime, Episode 1, The Man Who Turned Into a Kaiju. Will I be doing one of these for every episode? Probably. They're not going to be as scripted as my manga reviews. The anime is good. I'm not going to bury the lead. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to continue watching it. I went out and I purchased a whole Crunchyroll subscription so that I could watch it. But I just do not enjoy anime as much as I enjoy manga. I'm a manga girl. I'm a book girl. The book is always better. Fight me. All right. So, the animation. That's what everybody's been concerned about ever since we saw those character designs. Well, number one, you don't notice the difference between the character designs in the anime and the character designs in the manga. The minute the animation starts, it is obvious why they made those choices. They sacrificed the sharp, rugged lines of Kafka's face so that we could have smoother animation. Now, overall, in general, I hate to say it, I found the animation disappointing. Now, that is not saying anything against the animation itself. For what it is, for an anime, this is high-class animation. But I was so hyped for this series. My expectations were so high. I was hoping for free-run levels of animation. But this is just good, solid animation. And you can tell that there are a lot of trade-offs. For instance, the scene where Kafka meets Reno. You can tell that they scrimped on the animation here. There's a lot of static shots. The angles are good. The writing is spot on. The translations are good. Everything's good. But you can tell that they scrimped on the animation budget there. But they make up for it in the combat scene animations. And the combat scene animations are beautiful, brilliant. The animation style, the character design choices, these are all deliberately chosen to maximize the sheer awesomeness of the kaiju battles. When that salamander type 4-point-something kaiju starts attacking Tokyo and Mina shows up, beautiful, brilliant animation. But in order to maintain that level of animation for the fight scenes, they had to cut corners in other places. So we get a lot of static images. And again, the animation is good, but I was still disappointed. But I was disappointed because my expectations were, quite frankly, way too high because I am so hyped for this story. Okay, so the story covers, as one would reasonably expect, from the time that Kafka gets introduced to the time that he gets... Well, if you're listening to this channel, you know what happens to Kafka. Until the exact minute that the inciting incident of the series happens. Reno is introduced, and it's everything I could have wanted. Reno really shows up well. They picked the perfect voice actors for the English dub or sub. I get that reversed. Anyway, the one with the English language. I almost never listen to the English language version because something about the voice actors always bother me, but they hit it perfectly on the voice actors for the English language version. They especially got Kafka's voice actor right. Kafka, I think he's going to go down in history in the same category as Optimus Prime, Superman, Peter Parker, that very, very wholesome type hero. And they picked the perfect actor for that. A deep, soothing, masculine voice, not too rough, not too smooth. Like I said, you know what? I probably should have looked up the guy's name, but you know what? I really don't care about voice actors and stuff, and I do not want to set the standard for these reviews that I'll actually know that stuff. So you know what? Good work to the voice actor. I intend on never learning your name. The kaiju designs are slightly different. They're slightly thick. It's not so obvious in the salamander because it was already a thick, bulky boy, but the kaiju that attacks Kafka and Reno at the job site is definitely thicker and rounder at the joints, which is understandable. It either makes the animation easier to have fewer joints and stuff, but it doesn't really have fewer joints. They're just thicker. I think it makes the animation more believable. In the manga, where the movement is implied, it's much easier to suspend your disbelief. In the anime, we have to be able to look at these things move and say, okay, that makes sense. And that giant creature with its really spindly joints and bony frame doesn't really make sense might not have made as much sense as an animated character. So I think that's why they did that. There's a few choices where they extend certain scenes. Very well done. It fits in perfectly with the timing. But as it was basically just all about timing to make the animated story flow as well as the manga story did. So I'm not going to say too much about that. The animated series does add one specific scene to showcase Kafka's knowledge of kaiju anatomy and how he can apply that even under really tense field situations. It changes how his leg was injured. This is just a minor change, and I don't know why they did it. It's not a huge deal, but I'm wondering if that's going to come back later in the story as foreshadowing, or if they just did it to simplify the scene. And that's all I really have to say about the anime. I think the problem is that I've reviewed the manga so much detail. I really have nothing more to say, and I don't want to just repeat what I said about the manga. So this is all you're going to get for the anime from me. I'm debating whether to post this today, the Sunday after it aired, or the Friday before the next one airs. You'll find out when it airs, or you can go and check out the date below the video. Now, I started this talking about poop and telling you a story about how my desensitization to poop led me into an amusing encounter with a coworker. Why? Remember in the manga when they pixelated the intestines, I had assumed at the time that because kaiju eat humans, you would find human remains in the intestine. But in the anime, with the scene extended, it becomes very clear that no, they were just pixelating poop. And it got me scratching my head wondering, why would they pixelate poop? It's just poop. Semi-realistic looking poop. And I thought about it, and I think, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too desensitized to dealing with fecal matter. Maybe not everybody is used to cleaning chickens' butts and cleaning out goat stalls. Maybe not everyone has spent their summers gleefully scrambling over scree slopes on the mountainsides, hoping against hope that you will find that pyramidal shiny pile of poop that indicates a pika has presently been there. But what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Do you think that's why they pixelated the poop? Or do you think the standard population does not have that level of tolerance? Or is it just a joke referencing the manga? Leave me a comment below telling me what you think. Hit that like and subscribe button, and let's look forward to next week's manga. Peace out. Next week's anime. Peace out, my wonderful viewers.
Drake McCarty's leg was shattered, deep in the wilderness. As the flash flood closed over him, something alien pulled him from the waters. A military base that shouldn't exist. An ancient warrior with secrets of his own. Drake returns to his family with a whole leg and the burden of a secret he doesn't understand. In the forest around them, someone is watching, and something followed him home. Flying Sparks. 90,000 words of science fantasy adventure. The first novel in the Dying Embers universe is now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play Books, and from the author as a signed copy. Get your copy now and step into a world where dragons walk the forest, aliens lurk on the mountain, and things go boomp in the night.
Escape into another world with the writings of author Betty Adams. Two worlds, one of utter absurdity, one of dramatic tension, both alike in aliens absolutely astounded by human behavior. Humans are weird, short, absurd science fiction stories. Flying sparks, dragons, aliens, and things that go boomp in the night.
Books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play Books, and at authorBettyAdams.com for a signed copy.